before the world called him a god, before the burning guitars, before Woodstock, there was London. Between 1966 and 1970, Jimi Hendrix transformed from a broke, unknown American guitarist into the most revolutionary musician on the planet. This is the full story of the years that turned Jimi Hendrix into Jimi Hendrix. The friendships, the rivalries, the chaos, the genius, and the tragedy, all born in London. Part 1. Lost in America, early 1966. Before London changed everything, Jimi Hendrix was wandering through America, broke, homeless, and sleeping on friends' couches. He played tiny clubs in New York's Greenwich Village. A few people recognized his talent, but nobody knew what to do with him. Every label said the same thing. Great guitarist, but he'll never be a star. They were wrong, but Jimi couldn't convince America. Then, one night in September 1966, everything changed. Part 2. The man who discovered him, Chas Chandler. Chas Chandler, the bassist of The Animals, was in New York searching for something new for his next act. He walked into Cafe Wah. The club was half empty, the stage lights were barely working. But on that stage was a quiet American kid playing the guitar backwards and upside down. Jimi played Hey Joe, and Chandler saw the future. He approached him immediately. "Come to London. I'll make you a star." Jimi wasn't sure, but he had nothing else. Within days, he signed a deal. Within weeks, he was on a plane. Jimi Hendrix left America unknown. He landed in London, a legend waiting to happen. Part 3. Arrival in a different world. London in late 1966 was exploding with creativity. The Beatles, the Rolling Stones, The Who, Cream, Eric Clapton, Jeff Beck, Jimmy Page. It was the greatest collection of guitar heroes in one city, in one era. But they were about to meet someone who played on a different level. Jimi arrived wearing bright clothes, scarves, wild hair, nothing like the British musicians around him. People stared. Nobody had ever seen anything like him. And then he plugged in his guitar. Part 4. Hendrix destroys London, late 1966. Jimi jammed everywhere. Soho, clubs, pubs, tiny rooms, basements. Within 1 week, all of London was talking about him. Within 2 weeks, every guitarist wanted to see him. Within 3 weeks, he was on stage with Eric Clapton. This moment became one of the most famous stories in rock history. Part 5. The Eric Clapton Incident. Clapton, the god of the British blues scene, invited Hendrix to jam at a Cream show. Jimi walked on stage, completely unknown to the crowd. He plugged in, smiled, and launched into Killing Floor, a song Clapton himself had avoided playing because it was too fast. Jimi played it effortlessly. He shredded the solo with one hand. He played the guitar behind his back. Clapton walked off stage and said to a friend, "You didn't tell me he was that good." That night, the British guitar world realized everything had changed. Part 6. Building the Jimi Hendrix Experience. Chas Chandler helped assemble a power trio to match Jimi's intensity. Mitch Mitchell on drums, jazzy, fast, explosive. Noel Redding on bass, not technical, but solid and creative. Together, they were the Jimi Hendrix Experience. Their chemistry was instant. In the studio, Jimi worked non-stop, recording until sunrise, sleeping on couches, reinventing sounds every night. He wasn't copying anyone. He was creating a new vocabulary for the electric guitar. Chandler said, he saw sounds the same way painters saw colors. Part 7. London recordings that changed music between late 1966 and 1967 in tiny London studios. Hendrix recorded songs that would reshape rock: Purple Haze, Hey Joe, The Wind, Cry's Merry Fire, Foxy Lady, Red House. Nobody had ever heard tones like these. Nobody had ever heard distortion used musically. Jimi used feedback as melody distortion, as emotion wah-wah, as a voice amps as part of the instrument. He was pushing technology to its limits. Producers and engineers often said, what he asked for didn't exist yet, so Jimi invented it. Part 8. The explosion of 1967. 1967 was Hendrix's year. In London, he became a superstar practically overnight. Fashion icons copied his look. Rock stars followed him around. Fans waited outside his apartment. But nothing compared to what happened next. Part 9. Monterey Pop, the performance that made him immortal. Even though Jimi dominated London, he was still unknown in America. The solution? Monterey Pop Festival, June 1967. The Who and Hendrix fought over who should play first. Both bands wanted to finish the show by destroying the stage. The organizers forced Jimmy to play after The Who, so Jimmy decided, if they smash their instruments, I'll do something nobody can top. He played like lightning. He mesmerized the crowd. And then, at the climax, he kneeled over his Stratocaster, poured lighter fluid, and set it on fire. The flames rose. The crowd screamed. The legend was born. Jimi Hendrix had conquered America. But everything started in London. Part 10. The Dark Side of London Success. 1968 to 69. As Hendrix became world famous, the pressures grew. His relationships inside the band broke down. Noel Redding left in frustration. Chaz Chandler walked away, exhausted. Jimmy's London years, once full of creativity, became clouded with constant touring exhaustion drugs, hangers-on pressure to produce another masterpiece. He felt trapped. He wanted musical freedom, not fame. London had built him up, and now it was beginning to tear him down. Part 11. Electric Ladyland and a New Sound. Despite the chaos, Jimmy recorded his most ambitious album, Electric Ladyland. It was revolutionary. Tracks like Voodoo Child, Crosstown Traffic. All Along the Watchtower showed Jimmy at his creative peak. But inside, he was burning out. He talked often about leaving London and building his own studio in New York, Electric Lady, where he could escape the pressure. In 1970, he finally left the city that made him famous. But fate had different plans. Part 12. The Final Return to London, September 1970. In September 1970, Hendrix returned to London for a series of shows and interviews. Friends said he looked tired and strangely sad. He talked about changing direction, jazz, blues, and orchestral music. On September 17th, he gave his last interview saying, "In a year, maybe I'll just fade away." The next day, September 18th, 1970, Jimi Hendrix died in London at age 27. The city that launched his greatness also became the place of his final chapter. The legacy of the London years between 1966 and 1970, Jimi Hendrix lived a lifetime inside 4 years. London shaped him. London challenged him. London revealed him to the world. He arrived unknown. He left immortal. The London years weren't just the beginning of his career. They were the birth of a new era of music. Jimi Hendrix didn't just play the guitar, he reinvented it. And London was where the reinvention began.